Coco Gauff agrees with Martina Navratilova over change she needs to make to her tennis. Coco Gauff remains in contention for Miami Open success after battling into the quarterfinals. Fourth seed Gauff now takes on 12th seed Belinda Bencic at the Miami Open, where she has reached the quarterfinals for the first time. It arrives after her round of 16 victory over Sorana Cîrstea, who she defeated 6-4, 3-6, 6-2 after 1 hour and 59 minutes. And it was a victory that was achieved in no small part by her net play, which was highlighted by WTA legend Martina Navratilova. Coco Gauff agrees with Martina Navratilova about playing at the net more. Gauff joined Tennis Channel after the win, where it was put to her, "Martina Navratilova is in the booth with Archanda Rubin, and she just loves when you get to the net. Thinks your volleys look so sharp up there. How much of a part of your game do you want to continue emphasizing that?" She responded, "Yeah, I think I should do it more. I think when I played Alina Svitolina in Dubai, I was coming to the net a lot and was winning most of the points. And today I think there were times where I probably should have gotten in a lot more. And yeah, I think it's something that I have to remind myself a little bit because I feel like I'm so used to running from the back, but I'm also pretty quick forward and have a good overhead. So I think it's definitely something I want to incorporate. And yeah, on that match point, I told myself just to go to the net, and sometimes it doesn't have to be like the most outstanding approach. I think I feel like I have to hit like almost a winner to just go to the net, but sometimes it can be kind of in the in-between, and I can still make a good volley." And Gauff has now shared insight into one of those aspects, having been asked if foot speed is something she works on, for example through track workouts, or indeed if it is more natural. "I definitely think it's natural," she replied, "but trying to enhance it, and I think for me the main focus is more so on the footwork and trying to get better and more efficient with that. It's nowhere near where I want to be, but I think it's gotten better since when I came on tour. So I think just trying to remember to use the best kind of stance and patterns I think is the main part. And then obviously just trying to keep the speed, top speed, and keep being fast. I definitely think I'm the fastest on tour, so I think I want to keep doing that. And I think the goal is just to move more efficiently and effectively." Coco sat alone in the locker room long after the echoes of the match had faded. The scoreboard still lingered in her mind, not as numbers, but as moments. A late forehand that drifted wide. A second serve that hesitated midair as if unsure of its own purpose. The kind of details only a player replays, frame by frame, long after the crowd has moved on. On the bench beside her lay a folded towel and her phone, screen dim but alive with the quiet buzz of the world outside. Headlines, opinions, analysis. Everyone had something to say. One voice, though, cut through the noise more than the rest. Not because it was louder, but because it was precise. The message was simple. She needed to make a change. Not a complete reinvention. Not a dismantling of everything she'd built. Just a shift, subtle, but essential. Coco leaned forward, elbows on her knees, fingers loosely clasped. Change. It sounded so small, almost harmless. But in tennis, the smallest changes often demanded the greatest courage. A different toss on the serve. A step closer to the baseline. A decision to trust instinct instead of hesitation. She stood up and walked toward the mirror. Her reflection stared back, not defeated, not even discouraged. Just thinking. "You're close," she whispered to herself. Close. It was a word she had lived with for years. Close to winning. Close to breaking through. Close to becoming something undeniable. But close wasn't enough anymore. The idea lingered. Be more aggressive. It wasn't the first time she'd heard it. But this time, it felt different. Not like criticism, but like an invitation. A challenge to step into a version of herself she hadn't fully embraced yet. On court, she had always been a fighter. Fast, resilient, capable of turning defense into brilliance. But there were moments, tiny windows in matches, where hesitation crept in. Where she played not to lose, instead of playing to take control. That was the change. Not a technical overhaul, but a mental shift. The next morning, the court felt different. Not because anything had physically changed, but because she had. The baseline seemed a little closer. The angles a little sharper. The air carried a quiet sense of possibility. Her coach fed her a series of balls.
Deep. Fast.
Relentless. Take it early, he called out.
She did.
The first shot cracked off her racket, clean and decisive. It wasn't perfect, but it was committed. Again. Another ball. This time she stepped in further, cutting off the bounce. The shot landed deep, pushing her imaginary opponent back. Again. With each swing, the hesitation faded. Not completely. Change doesn't happen in an instant, but enough to feel the difference. Enough to know she was onto something. Later, during a practice set, the real test came. Break point. The kind of moment where instincts reveal themselves. The rally built slowly. Cross-court. Backhand to backhand. Safe, steady exchanges. The old pattern. Then, a shorter ball. For a split second, time stretched. The familiar choice hovered. Play it safe. Extend the rally or step in and take it. She moved forward. The shot wasn't just a swing. It was a decision. A declaration. The ball zipped down the line, catching the edge of the court.
Point.
She didn't celebrate.
Not outwardly.
But inside, something clicked into place. This was the change. Not about hitting harder for the sake of it. Not about reckless aggression.
It was about ownership.
About deciding that she would shape the match, not simply respond to it. After practice, she sat courtside, sipping water, the sun dipping low in the sky. Her coach approached, nodding slightly. That's it, he said. That's the balance. Coco smiled faintly. Balance. It sounded simple, but it was everything. Knowing when to defend and when to strike. When to wait and when to act. The advice that had once felt like pressure now felt like clarity. That night, back in her room, she picked up her phone again. The same headlines were there, the same conversations. But they didn't feel heavy anymore. They felt useful. Like pieces of a puzzle she was finally starting to assemble. She typed a quick note to herself. Trust the moment.
Take the chance.
Then she set the phone aside. Change, she realized, wasn't about becoming someone else. It was about becoming more of who you already are, just without the hesitation. The next tournament would come. Another match. Another scoreboard. More moments to test this new approach. She knew it wouldn't be perfect. There would be